Greetings, welcome to another day of Autoforge development. Today we worked on kind of wrapping up the art pipeline for now, so I'll just kind of talk over what we did for that, and it should be a shorter recap. So there's a few things left that I wanted to kind of resolve. The biggest one being that we have this concept of atlases or an atlas region, which is really like some area on some texture that is associated to a name. So we might have our pudding icon, which is the atlas name, and that then is going to be specified exactly in the atlas region where it's at and on what texture. So we can see that if we go over to our atlases, we can see we track our atlases, we add them, we're able to get to them. If we look at the atlas region itself, you can see it just has a key, a source, a texture handle, and a text direct, right? So it's a really simple thing, and what this allows us to do is have some name associated with an atlas region, which means that we can change where that texture data lives and be able to just always have the name around. So if we ever wanted to move the pudding icon to some other location, like maybe pack it up into a spreadsheet, we're able to do that without having to go update exactly where that's at. So we've had this mostly in place for some time, but we were having to manually add our atlas data. So if we wanted to say where the pudding icon is at, we'd have to say, okay, let's add that. And we'd say that, oh, there's a pudding icon that's at pudding icon.png, and the texture direct is 002424. And so we were putting that in our prefabs earlier, but that's extremely cumbersome and it kind of defeats the entire purpose of having this atlas data to some degree. So we worked on getting a solution for that, which is that we automatically, and this is happening in our resources, we automatically go through all of our, let me find it, here we are, go through all of our textures at the start of the game, and we'd load them up. And eventually what we'd like to do is have them be like deferred loading, so that way we don't actually fully load them up. But we load up all of our resources, and we will automatically add them to our atlas as a full image. So pudding icon.png would be added as pudding icon with the full texture. But if we have a JSON file associated with this image, then we will actually load it up. We'll parse that JSON, and right now we're using texture packer JSON array files for this, and we just grab this JSON. We're using this library called Enloman JSON, which I found on GitHub, and we just pull out the frame data, which has the text direct information as well as the file name. And with that, we're able to add to our atlases all of this information. So let's say that we had all of our icons texture packed into a single spreadsheet. We would then parse through that and get all of that atlas information, the texture region, or texture rect, and we would have our texture here, and then we would associate with the file name of where that originally came from. So our pudding icon would still show up in atlases as a pudding icon, but it would be coming from a different file. And that allows for all this magic to work, and it's beautiful. Another awesome thing that I did is I made it so that whenever we get our atlases, the first time we try to get it, we actually will just make a placeholder for that name. So if we ever say, hey, I want the pudding icon atlas, it will, if it doesn't exist, it will just add a placeholder in there, and then whenever we populate it later, that atlas handle is actually valid. And that happens whenever we load up the texture resource itself. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Not as short as I was wanting, but with all of this, I think our entire art pipeline is awesome. Something we'll do in the future is add in a way to automatically texture pack all of our sprites, so that way while we're developing the game, they can be in their individual files, and then when we ship, we can pack them up nicely and not have to change anything, thanks to this atlas handle and everything here. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask in the comments down below. I'll see you guys in the next video.